Right. Now, I would have done a podcast yesterday, but I was on Twitch doing Cyberpunk. Plus, I was getting rest, for taking care of business. But anyway, I just wanted to bring up a few things here. And I don't know if the hacker that had the information of GTA 6, the game footage, I'm not sure what's going on there because I haven't heard no more of it. Because I guess apparently Rockstar, when they released this footage out yesterday, everything was looking good. Yeah, the game's going to be at 30 FPS. That's what basically people were saying about it. I mean, I seen it, but to me, the way that they upped where you're walking around and see your own reflection in the buildings, the interiors of buildings, the way things reflect off of cars on GTA 6, like, they're getting this down to some good detail here. So they are doing good with it, even if it ends up being a low FPS, a low number on that. I was expecting maybe for it to be 60 frames per second, given that they were investing a lot into this. But that doesn't mean that more can't come within the 2 months that they have to finish the game. They have to have the game done before November 19th, because that's their deadline. So that does not mean that they will not take and do more. They could still do a lot more. I know there's been a lot of stuff because Strauss Selnick has spoke out about certain things, about the pre-orders and stuff like that, and how much they've cleared on it ever since the earnings call. Lots of people are there are people that are boycotting GTA 6 and saying it's a no-go for some, only because of what they've seen. To me, what I've seen more of a step up than GTA 5. Because if you put it side by side, the footage on Netflix and then footage of GTA 5, you could definitely see the difference. You can see where they're getting GTA 6 to be more clear when you're viewing it. So they are making changes that are going to turn this game and make it look good. Because I believe in Rockstar. I have been a fan of their games for a long time. And based on what I seen yesterday on Netflix, when my buddy Mag was doing a stream of his own, he was on doing doing that, and we were all sitting watching the footage that they put on Netflix. And the way the weapons are. Now, of course, you have to pick up a weapon in order to go and use it. That's basically how that is going to go. But I love the way that you can hit the vehicles and the vehicles will flip. There's a lot more interaction that I'm seeing in Grand Theft Auto 6 that you didn't see too much of. And when you would go in buildings, the interiors would just be plain. You didn't have them to where it looked clean cut, and the way that you see a scene where I guess it's two drug runners or whatever, they're fighting or arguing, and one of them rams the other one through the wall, and you get to see the wall as it busts and breaks. It's awesome to see destructible environments coming to Grand Theft Auto 6, because that was not around in the others, in other games that I remember. That was not even really a part of it. Because if you would try, or no, They didn't even try. But they're doing more here, as you can see. It's awesome where you can have boats, multiple different boats, including a river boat with the propeller in the back. They're adding that. I'm sure that they're going to show more of the open world, which I'm hoping that we see more of the open world in the next two that they decide to show. Because then that's really going to give people the big choice whether or not they will stay and invest in GTA 6. Now, I don't think without a shadow of a doubt anyone's not going to invest in GTA 6. Because it's the sixth game in the series, 13-year wait. Everyone's been expecting this. So people have a lot of high expectations when it comes to GTA 6 and it comes to Rockstar doing this. Because now with technology getting better, more of it being displayed, you're seeing a lot more changes in the RAM and in chipsets.
He's coming home to me.
Not only that, it's the thing too. Even with the disk drive for the Helix. Now I'll get on to the topic here of the Helix. What I've seen so far, the breakdown of the Helix, is it's looking awesome. It's going to be a 2-chip set with 4 sticks of RAM inside of that system.
Did you just fart, James?
So you're talking about a system that is going to be set up to the highest graphics you'll ever see in gaming history. They're not sparing any expense, which you don't expect Rockstar to spare anything. They will try and use their full budget. As far as Take-Two Interactive, I don't know how Strauss Zelnick runs Take-Two over there. But I see them using the full budget all the way up until this game comes out. And if they got to make changes, believe me, Rockstar will make the changes along the way. They'll make them as they see fit. They will end up making those changes if it's necessary. Otherwise, you won't see them changing a thing unless they feel like it needs to be done prior to the release. Now, the Helix, what I'm seeing of the 2-chip set, 4 gigs of RAM in it, they have even shown how this chip is going to work. And it's going to work in a way that the open worlds and the games themselves are going to be so detailed that it's going to be higher than VR. And they already said it's going to be even more intense than Xbox Series X was. So in other words, they're pushing this one to the limit. They are going to take it to the limit. Now, the disc to digital,
Well, I'll let you go.
I don't think that's a bad idea. The disc to digital program was the right way to go.
Well, I got my period.
One, that way, you know, people would still have the option for games like a lot of people are saying. And truthfully, that's
I'll talk to you later.
That's what's right. You know, us gamers that are out there gaming, you know,
Jeez, just hang up.
we should still have the right to be able to have our physical games and be able to convert them to digital if we want to. As far as a separate disk drive, some of them it depends on what you buy. Some of them will be about $100 and some, $200, or a little bit higher than that. But at least they're offering options. This is what I like about Xbox is they are offering options to the players. They're not just going to say, okay, we're going to release this Helix and you're just going to have to deal with digital. And just like lots of other streamers have said, about the whole thing, there's just so much that some people miss. They don't read in between the lines. Truthfully, nah, they're not going to put a disk drive because that's going to run at the 1200, even 1500. So, and I know if she's going to want people to buy this, they're not going to buy it at like 1200, 1500, because not everybody can afford that in the system. I'm just grateful I can afford my bills every month of paying my bills and keeping everything on around here, because that's how the show runs. I don't keep things on around here, show doesn't run. But now probably if they have it at like 900 or 1000 even, that's a little bit more reasonable, even though you have to buy a separate disk drive to put onto your Helix. But at least it's better than Xbox saying, no, deal with digital. We're not going to give you the option. No, they're giving you the option. PlayStation, on the other hand, they're just completely slapping their customers in the face and saying, wake up. You're not getting physical games anymore. Stop your whining. In a way, that's what it seems like. Because even this standoff over no physical media, no gamers, even though it's lasting a week, it's not going to make these people budge. Because PlayStation has already said it doesn't matter what gamers do. We are not budging on the decision that we made. So they're not going backwards and going to say, nah, we'll give you physical. No, they won't budge. I mean, good luck trying to get them to budge, but this is a corporation that's been in business for years. They've had Sony Entertainment, has been around for a long time, making films, video games. A lot of the video games, they use their film studio to get the cinematics and to get a lot of the good filming done. They use their Sony studios for that. What do you think a portion of that budget goes towards? Their studios then end up doing stuff for them, helping them out as they make these games. So, and I've even heard about Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales. And it's truthfully going to happen. They will not have any more Spider-Man games after Part 3. Because I've not seen anything beyond except for all the way up to Spider-Man 3 is what they're going to really worry about. But once they do Spider-Man 3 Endgame, that's pretty much the end of that there. Wolverine is coming out in September. That's another thing that Insomniac did. And then Marvel Studios was also with them on that. Now, the new Wolverine game, from what I've seen, the fight stuff looks awesome. Like, they have managed to get things looking to a point where I think fans will be pleased. But in my opinion, too, and this is how I feel either way, even when this game hits the market, I just feel like people find things to pick on. Like, they're going to find something in this game that they don't think is good, and of course they're going to gripe about it. I mean, you'll see the comments in the comments section. You'll see it blow up when this comes out. But you really won't get the real legitimate truth of how it's going to go until this releases. Until the game is out there and it's in the hands of the gamers and people have had a chance to experience the game. That's when people may end up either changing their minds or griping about something in it. But one thing that I think that a lot of gamers should be glad about is there is plenty of game titles out there for the picking, for choosing them. You know, you're not getting let down here. I mean, if you think about this whole year and hearing about games coming out left and right, you know, it's awesome to see that they have made this year entirely focused on games, whether it is on the PlayStation side, the Xbox side. Either way, they've been really blowing people away because they've been making a lot of games this year. So, plus you have Gears of War E-Day. You have that coming, and that's an Xbox exclusive. So that'll be over there on the Xbox side of things. And I agree with Mag. Mag says that really the only thing that's going to be the drawback is going to be the PvP. Because you're going in there and you could play against these like high-ranked players. So, I don't know. I mean, that component of it is not going to be as popular with people. But I know the campaign will definitely interest people. You'll probably see a lot of people playing it for the campaign. The campaign and the siege mode in Gears E-Day, you know, the modes that are like that. But I doubt there's going to be a lot of people going toward PvP on that one. Yeah, I see people kind of backing off of that. Another thing that I found out today, in case you guys haven't caught on the channel here, I found out today that in November, Ubisoft and Massive will actually go to a point where they'll have crossplay. So basically, you'll be able to game with people on PlayStation and on PC while playing Division 2. And that happens in November. Now, as far as a date or a day, right now it doesn't seem like they got it set in stone. But it is going to get done. Yeah, they are going to have crossplay. That they're not backing off of. So, I think that's cool. Yeah, because in case you have players that may be on PlayStation 5 or PC, at least when you go to search, you're playing with players across like all or the other two platforms. Now, as far as Nintendo, I doubt Nintendo would be involved in that, given that, you know, their stuff is more oriented for the Switch and the Switch 2. But at least the PlayStation and PC will be able to be a part of that. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. And what I like about Division 2 is the way the seasons change. Like every month or every few weeks, you'll get a different mission event that you can be a part of, and you'll earn rewards that way for your soldier in Division 2. So, there's that. But a lot of this stuff going on, the hacker that hacked into Rockstar, like, I just think it's ridiculous that it's not firmed up enough to where people could go in there and grab a hold of stuff like that. Especially when they've been waiting for the November 19th release date and people go in and hack the stuff just to get information on it. Me, I'll sit here and I'll gladly wait. Like if they want to put out stuff or footage, I'll wait until they release the footage. You will never see me try to go and pull something like that. Besides, there were 2 other hackers previous to this one that got caught by federal and their local law enforcement for doing the same thing, getting into Rockstar. There was even one person, wasn't even 16 years old, I think. He ended up getting into Rockstar, but he also hacked Uber at the same time. So he did those 2 things. And I just think it's crazy, when people want to go to that extreme. I get that it's a high anticipated game. I get it's a game that people were waiting so long for. But to go in to hack it, I'm more of a person that I'll wait for the game to come out. I'll build the excitement, I'll build the anticipation behind it, and I'll wait for them to finish it and polish it and get it to 100%, to its 100% where it needs to be, before I end up, even wanting to check it out. And lately, I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk and Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. And I've been enjoying both of those. Both of those games are fun. Now, I eventually want to check out Hogwarts Legacy. But since I have those other 2 games that I've been doing, I've been primarily focused on the other 2. So, but I would not recommend the game to young kids, especially of Cyberpunk, because there's like adult things that's in there. Things that you wouldn't want, a young child to see, but...
Don't get in any more fucking wrecks.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. It's a good game as well. Even though I know there's people that have complained about that one, but hey, it is what it is. It's still a good adventure game. It's still a good open world game. You have quests that you can do. I'm still learning stuff along the way of how to even level up and change things up for that game. But hey, it's a learning experience just like any other. I was working on a schedule for Twitch of the days I'm going to do things for both of the gyms. I do want to look into a giveaway, a merchandise giveaway, but I need to get the amount of people that have subscribed. I need to get a subscriber count, and then that way I could set up a wheel, and we could do that eventually for my merchandise. So
that's not fair. If you call off, they're ready to fire you, but if someone else calls off, they don't get fired.
But other than that, I mean,
that's not fair.
I mean, I know the news has been chaotic. Everything's everywhere.
Well, for tomorrow.
But the one thing that you should never be disappointed by is now
they don't have no say in
there is no such thing as a shortage on games now. Because everywhere you look, there's games. So all you got to do is look. Check out Game Pass. Check out the PlayStation Store. Now the physical media, mind you, may not be getting sold as much in stores, but that's because of the announcement the PlayStation made, and that's why you're starting to see that change. Because they want to go straight to digital. And the only thing that bugs me is you have the game, but truthfully, you don't have ownership of that game. You only have the license for it. So whatever game that you have, it's not really the game, it's more or less the license for that game. So you can be approved to be able to play that. And it basically stays right on your library. It's not transferable. You can't share it. You can't delete it. Or I mean, you can uninstall it and stuff whenever you're done with a game, which that's what I sometimes do. Like I'll swap and switch my games, so that way I'm keeping it fresh and not just constantly doing the same game. Because I don't want to keep doing the same game, make everybody go crazy and get bored, doing the same thing. So that's why right now it's been Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered and Cyberpunk. And once I finish up one of those, whichever one I finish up, I'll be doing Hogwarts Legacy. So I could either do that on Twitch or YouTube. One of the two. But I am not, in this. As far as like the back and forth with everything, hey, I'm just happy that they're offering options on Xbox. I'm glad that I'm seeing more changes over there. And for the positive, too. Not so much for the negative, but more for the positive. And lots of studios that have actually broken off now. Now you're hearing about them having success. Because they're managing to create stuff that people are wanting to play. That people are wanting to get into. Which is awesome to see. Because that's all you could hope for when certain studios break away from a larger company such as Xbox. So, but gaming is alive and well more than ever. Because every time you're seeing cool games. And then they're coming up with ideas for other ones too. Like now, I seen that raccoon game because I was watching what was it? The Gamescom, because my other pal that is a friend of mine, Arrow Nation, he was watching the Gamescom. And there was this game that came across, and it's called, I guess, Trash Gang, and you can be a raccoon and team up with your fellow raccoons to go in a person's house and, like, pretty much steal what you can from there. Coffee cups or whatever else you can, grab. And then you have to run away from an exterminator in that game. Like, it was really something. Now, I love the fact that they're coming out with animated games, especially for younger audiences. So that way, people that are younger can experience games like that. Since people have the games that they like, that's more of the blood and gore thing, at least they're also considering making games for pretty much all ages, which is great. And that's even starting to fill up because there's been a lot of titles that they have made for younger audiences. And when I thought Take-Two was done with the wrestling scene, because I thought they were going to break away and not bother to make another wrestling game. But I just seen the other day that they are going to make a 2K WWE 2K27. And in this one, they're going to feature Randy Orton's career, where you could go through moments of his career when he was a young guy in his 20s, as he began through the business. So yeah,
I
there's a
don't feel good.
lot
My stomach hurts.
going on, and it's like every other
My
day I'm hearing something. I'm hearing about this game coming out, or that one, or something's getting remastered or remade. So it's just a constant flow. So at least that's something we can be happy about. I know that right now the whole corporate mess sometimes gets in the middle of stuff, but what do you expect? You're going to have that because, it's a business. So you're going to hear stuff like that. And the corpo speak, as much as you don't like hearing it, you're going to hear that, as they get asked questions and stuff like that. They like to do to run around while answering a question of the press, but the main thing is, I'll tell you what, since I have been doing this, and since I
Jenny, get in your room. He's calling off.
Since I have been playing my games and getting back into gaming, I have really had a blast. Like, quite literally. It feels good to have that controller back in my hand as a gamer and back into it. But not only that, it's awesome for the simple fact that I can also stream it at the same time as playing it and still get the enjoyment from it. Heck, there's times I feel myself not wanting to set the controller down. Not even for a couple of minutes. And I have not had that gaming fever or that gaming desire in a while. But now, since I've started doing this on YouTube and Twitch and running my own store, like, doing all this stuff now has really given me a renewed sense of purpose again, and having me want to get back on my console and fire up games again. Even if they're single player, multiplayer, does not matter. It has gave me that desire back. So I feel like I've been bit by the gamer bug again. And it's great. I'm not going to complain here. Might not be able to afford the next generation system. Might not be able to afford buying that. But the main thing is, I still have a system that I stream on every single time. I still have the technology to record videos. And that's what's great. I mean, I'm working hard to try to get up there, because now YouTube has you doing like 500 subscribers now. And that's pretty much, what it is now. And I guess they're counting views in a different way now. So a lot of changes happened over at YouTube. Same for, just the gaming world too. There's been a lot of changes, but a lot of it now, what you're starting to see since Xbox did their reset, you're starting to see things happen that should have happened a while back. And what I mean by that is the way that Asha Sharma has stood up and said, okay, what needs done? Let's do this. Let's get it complete. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's not be about it, or let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. And she has been doing things for gamers. The whole thing of this to digital. They don't have to come out right and say, oh, we did this just to make it good for gamers. No, we did it for the betterment of our product, because that's the only way you're going to get ahead. You have to be innovative, and you have to be smart and watch when you're doing stuff, especially when you're competing with other companies. And, where Sony is completely doing a lot of crazy decisions over there, Xbox seems like they're the ones trying to make the more sane decisions and the decisions that benefit gamers overall by still giving them the option to have their games, whether it's disc or digital, by finding ways to improve the prices and not have the prices be very expensive. But let's face it, we're going to get high prices. Why? Because RAM's costing a lot more to make. Lots of things are going up in price. Look at your everyday budget. Look at your survival. Your basic survival costs so much anymore just to live and to manage. So with the rising price, it's going to be rough for people. Yeah, at least to people like me. I could say myself, yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford next gen technology, but at least, like I said, I still have technology that's around that works. And the old saying comes to mind, why try to fix it if it isn't broken? You know, you don't need to be trying to, you don't need to always buy the next big thing just because they're advertising it and drilling it at you. That is your option if you decide to invest in the next system. That's an option for people if they decide they want something that's better and higher in graphics. But how much can you push a game? You can only make a game and push the graphical detail so far. Now, I give it up to AMD because AMD, they do a bunch of studies all the time. They study gamers. They study the type of games that most gamers play. And a lot of the gamers, end up playing AAA titles. A lot of them end up playing those AA titles. So that's why they're stepping graphical detail up, because that's the way the gamers are going. They are focusing their direction on the bigger titles. Now, maybe some people might go toward the independent type of games. Some of those will catch your eye, but it's not for everyone. And that's not a problem. That's just another option and a choice. Like every time I look on Game Pass, I'm like, well, what game could I get, or what game could I invest in that'll be good for my viewers so they have something awesome to look forward to every time I go and fire my system up and get ready to record. Because I want to do things that are fun, that are entertaining. I don't want to bore and make everybody fall asleep. You want to entertain your fans and your audience members, that tune into your streams. So that's why I thought about games like Cyberpunk, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, Hogwarts Legacy. I've thought of games like that, and I still continue to look. Like, I still keep my eyes open. Whether it's keeping my eyes open, watching out for games, or watching out for gaming news, I also have my eyes open and all that to look for games on Game Pass that might be awesome to play. Now, I have a pretty decent backlog, and I want to be able to go through these games and play them. And what I try to do is I'm an achievement hunter. All right, I'm an achievement hunter on my game, or on my games. So I love to go through the games, find out what the objectives are, find out what I have to do to pass, or what I have to do to get through it. And I like to do that. Like, I like to study all that and know a strategy that may end up working to where it's going to be successful for me. And I'm what you would call a strategist. So I'm more of like a strategist type of gamer when it comes to gaming. Now, if you've ever watched my content, my videos, my gaming videos and stuff, you would see how I could zero in and take care of a mission pretty easily. It's because, one, I know the surroundings I'm dealing with. I know how to keep my eyes anywhere that they need to be, so I know that that's going to be passing. But sometimes I'm not always the greatest at it. Sometimes I've had my struggles with it. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys that I have not. Truthfully, I have. But, yeah, that's the type of gamer I am. And that's what made me successful and why I call myself top gamer to this day, top gamer, because of that. Because of the way that I could zero in, work on missions, and pass them. That's why, that's why my gaming score always raises up. Like, I get on the game, and once I've figured out and I know what I'm doing, that's it. You start seeing that, like, well-oiled machine and all that well-oiled gamer set to go, ready to go, to pass stuff. But I also enjoy the storylines along the way, the cinematics, the things that are off to the sides in the games. And I like to study it all. Even right down to the story itself in any game that you play. That's what I love about these games. These games have stories.
Love you.
You know, these games have stories in them. Every game has its own story. And I think that's what makes gaming great. Is games with stories in them. That's where it's at. But they also have third-person looter shooters, first-person, and all that. So, you know, that's why I say there's a game out there for everyone to choose. So, yeah, I've been working hard behind the scenes here, working on trying to get subscribers. I've been working hard trying to basically find stuff that's awesome to put on the channel. I try to keep you up to date if something that is new that shows up on the channel. So I will keep you well informed, that's for sure. But I don't see any more gaming news coming unless more announcements are made. But now over the next few months, it's going to still be the same thing. Making sure that the decisions that are getting made are going to be the right ones. And that all these companies, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, I just think that the only way we'll hear something is if an announcement comes out for some purpose or some reason. Now that we're not far off from the fall season and we're going to start getting colder, I think that I don't think we'll see a lot of changes big time. I could say I'll see more results maybe a year from now in all of it. You know, the whole gaming industry. And I know within a year I'll probably see changes on this channel. But I just want to thank everyone that has been there in my corner, that has supported me along the way. You guys have really meant a lot as I've been doing this. Because sometimes I'll sit here and I'll doubt myself. when I look at my analytics, and I kind of focus on that sometimes, and sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be like, am I going to have what am I going to be able to do what I need to do for the channel's sake? And sometimes I do get discouraged. Sometimes I feel as though it's hard for me every day because I try to come out with something that's different and trying to change things up for all of you. Whether it be games or shorts, you know. Man, I scroll on my Facebook just to see if there's any info on any games or whatever that may be getting announced, or even if they're in a small like production stage. I still look out for stuff like that because I know people need to be informed of that. And people should be informed whenever there's stuff that's going on with Xbox and going on with others. Because that's what you need to know. You know, that balances it all out. But I don't think that we should always focus on that or focus on major announcements that are getting made, or I don't think that we should worry about it unless it's going to affect production of games. But as of right now, I don't really see that being the case. I don't really see anything too alerting that is going to be something that should worry us. I mean, we're still going to see the production of games. That's not changing. We're still going to see everything going on a good course with, you know, both companies. And it seems like the studios, more games are getting made. So, I know I'm forgetting something. I know there's a lot of games in October that are coming, at least a couple, and then I know there's games coming in September as well. But what else do I want to focus on? I will do my best to continue with the videos, continue with the content, and I appreciate the support. Yeah, it means a lot. Like I said, I try to think of different ideas or different ways that I can approach things that would be good for this channel, beneficial for it. I try to make sure that sound is heard within my videos. I try to make sure that, you know, I give people the best production possible, which, you know, sometimes that gets to be a little rough and can be exhausting. It can be very tiring. But that doesn't mean I will stop, you know. I'll keep going. But does anybody have any favorite games? I mean, do you have games out there that right now that you might be playing that you're really having a good time with? You know, besides me saying I'm having a good time. Sorry, chat. Besides me saying I'm having a good time with the two that I'm playing, is there anyone out there that's been having a blast with their games? You know, I hope you guys have been enjoying a lot of games that's out there and checking out different ones. You know, leaving your options open. But basically, it's the bottom line, like a lot of streamers say. Yeah, prices are going to go up. They're going to continue to go up. So sometimes all it is just looking, you know, at deals for stuff. So, but I think it's going to be more scarce and more difficult because the way that stores may start turning into once this whole physical media is gone, there's only going to be so much. But a lot of people are doing digital things anymore. You know, almost everything you do in this world involves AI and involves the technology. So that's where you're seeing that big. And it will happen more once the Helix comes out. Once the PS6 comes out, you will start seeing that more implemented. So that's when you're going to see the extreme change in this country, and it going for another shift, even in, video games and the industry itself. Because now people are using AI and using that technology for a lot of things to do it easier, do it quicker, do it faster. Yeah, because people don't want to waste as much time anymore. But the way I look at the way that things are designed, when I was growing up and you did something or you built something, you put something together, you took time to do that. You took hours to do that. And that is what made those projects awesome, is the time you took and as much detail as you could put into something when you make it. That is the thing that should matter the most. You're seeing these studios creating games now that lots of people are starting to pick up and play. And it doesn't matter if you're playing a different title from a different developer. I mean, it doesn't matter what type of game you're actually playing. What matters is, do you enjoy it? Is it a game that makes you not want to put your controller down? Is it a game that you're feeling the addiction pulsing through as you're having that controller in your hand and turning that game on? Are you noticing yourself to where you'll sit there at least for hours and play? That's what's going to matter the most. At least to the gamers, that's what's going to matter to the gamers the most. Not so much the heads of these industries, not so much the bosses of these industries, but it's going to be how we as consumers have an outlook on it. Is it going to be addictive? Is it going to be a game that we won't be able to stop playing? That's what people are looking for. And they're looking for games that are not rushed, but games that at least the time is taken and the detail is getting put into it. Because now that we're in the future, basically, that's what you should start seeing more. Because these industries, whether it's Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, they could get their hands on stuff to really enhance these games now. There is more that's accessible to these companies that they can make an entire change in just a very little small amount of time when it comes to these games. So there's no need to really be going and firing at them, because they are doing and using the technology that's there. They're not sparing no expense to make a game for us. Like, look at all these developers. Look at all the different titles that have been out there for how long. You look in Game Pass and you're seeing like over 30 titles in there, and it's all different types of games. You have RPGs, fantasy, you got Fortnite, Roblox. Even though, honestly, it kind of looks funny when you have your character running in Roblox, because it looks like they're carrying a load in their block pants. But truthfully, That's just, my opinion on it. And it's probably the reason why my opinion's like that is it's not a game that I prefer to play. It's not a game that I'm into. So that is why I say that it's still good. Because they're making games that kids could play. And not only that, you got Minecraft. They're bringing out Minecraft Legends 2. That's a game for kids. And by the way, guys, that's my 16-year-old son in the background.
So when it comes out, make sure to check it out.
He said when Minecraft comes out, Minecraft 2, don't forget to check it out, he said. That's what my boy said. But
I'm a big fan of Minecraft.
I'm telling you though, it is great. It is great to be a gamer and have this type of profession that I can sit here and give my opinions how I feel. And I'm not really choosing sides in anything here. I'm not even praising a developer, truthfully. The only thing that I like to see is the work, the details that they're putting into it. The stories that these people make are awesome. Because it's the stories that keep you gaming. It's all the cinematic cutscenes, the full story itself. Like, these are the things that are really getting gamers playing, I mean, I'm not expecting a game where it's going to be instant fireworks. That's not me. On the other hand,
yes,
the only thing that I am expecting.
Oh, that's right.
The thing is, what I'm expecting the most is not so much for them to speed things up, to make them faster. Because I love the quality, the detail, the time that these people take. And I like games, of course, like anyone does, that doesn't have like slow running speed or that everything looks blocky and a mess. I like games being cleaned up and polished up like everyone else does. Because that's the only way you'll see me invest. It has to be something that'll grip me. If it grips me, I'll stay invested in it. As far as these controllers too, like you're seeing now, they're coming out with a controller for Gears. Or not, yeah, for Gears E-Day. And that's pretty cool in itself. But if there's one thing about Xbox is, they're known for the controllers. They are known for bringing out a bunch of different detailed controllers. What I miss is the skins. The things that you can use to decorate your system. Those are the things that I really miss. Like, I don't know why they ever did away or considered doing away with the skins completely. That, in my opinion, that wasn't too much of a good move. Because, that was another way that people could have something as a collector item, is by having a skin for the controller, or even a skin just for the system itself. Because then the design on it would be something you'd be like, whoa, I got a hold of this, I invested in it, and I got something awesome I can look at. Something that keeps me going, something that keeps me motivated. And I can honestly say, as I sit here, that I will not change my mind when it comes to quality, because I believe in quality. Lots of companies, or I should say not companies, but sometimes when you want to rush something, you're not going to have a good thing if you have to hurry up to make it. I get we live in a world, it's a fast-paced one. People want things right there, up front, in your face. I get that. But here's the thing. Do you want a game turning out crappy that when you play it on your system, that it's a game that's going to be full of bugs and issues? I mean, you look at Redfall and the way that game did not go so well because of the way that it was rushed and not, well thought. Now, you could tell me I'm wrong here, but I think that as they create games, they should really consider and look at what most people play and the biggest things that people are into. Like if you're looking at the most popular games that people play, that is how you're going to get an idea of what your fans really want and what your fans expect. You need to really focus on what everyone plays when they're doing stuff. Whether it is a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, whoever might be on any of those two areas like that, or even Facebook gaming, that those are the things you need to look at, is the quality. The quality should always come first. And then the performance. And then less bugs and glitches in it. So that way, you're not going to have a game that'll give you issues. So, I mean, those are just things that I take into consideration, even when I look at games. Because I don't want to just get a game to get it, and then it sits and it doesn't get played. That's not the type of thing you really want to have, not when you're a content creator like me. So you want stuff that when you're sitting there playing it, you're seeing action scenes, you're seeing all kinds of crazy things going on in the world. You're not seeing details of things glitching. Now, honestly, I know a lot of people have said this about Cyberpunk, because it's funny I bring up about glitching and issues like that. Cyberpunk is a good game, but I will say there are parts of that game that glitch out. It was one area, because of a busted out window, I got stuck. It glitched out and I got stuck. Now that right there is the things that I think need to be focused on. Because if you have a game and you have a player playing it, and a player experiences a glitch like that, and then they get stuck, then what choice do you have? I mean, you can't really get yourself unstuck if you're jammed and it glitches out on you. The only other thing you could do is turn the game off and restart the game. But how many gamers here get sick and tired of having to reset your games because of a glitch or a bug? How many people get agitated when you have to do that because you're glitching in a game? You're stuck in an area you can't get out, and you have to what? You have to shut it down, restart the whole thing again. And even if you're having viewers too and you're streaming, you have to restart the game. You're also taking that entertainment away from them too. And you're taking a little more time to to have to reset that and get back on there again. And when I did that, I tried to avoid that spot. So, yeah, I tried to avoid that spot where I got that glitch at. Yo, what's up, Football Edits? How are you doing, dude? I've been doing okay. Just a little bit of a busy day. It picked up for me somewhat. Had to take my son to an important appointment. Other than that, I'm chilling now at home for the weekend. So I'm going to try to get Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered recorded at some point to post that up to YouTube. I have also been doing Cyberpunk on Twitch as well. And I have a store, a merchandise store, so if you want to check that out, you could check that out. The link is right on the channel, because I've been doing that off to the side besides doing the 2 channels. But it's crazy. Like, I've played games that have had those little spots, and it's irritated me, because then I'm like, okay, the only decision I have here, even if I have viewers, I still have to reset a game. Like, who hates doing that? I'm sure I'm not the only person that hates having to restart a game because of something that's ridiculous, you know, something that's out of your control. But it still doesn't take me away from playing that game. Just because of that reason doesn't take me away from playing it. I'm still going to play it. 1, because I get enjoyments from the mission, or the missions I do. 2, it's the open world itself in the game that I also look at and love so much. So those are just a few of the things that, when I make my game purchases, those are just a few things I think about. Is it going to be a game that is a paid to the rear? Am I going to have small glitches? Or is it going to be a game that's going to be made, you know, to the best? And I'm not saying that games are going to be made glitch free, because let's face it, in this world today, you can't get a game that's glitch free. You will still have your issues and stuff like that. They could patch up like glitches and issues like that. But the thing is, you know, you're still going to have your minor run-ins. Now, Cyberpunk is still a good game, even with the glitches that I've noticed, or that one glitch I noticed. So, I don't really think anything needs to be done. Maybe something that should be done along the lines of maybe having a patch to clean up that glitchy spot. But other than that, I mean, I am not going to stop playing something just because of that. I'm a gamer, so as a gamer, you play something. You know, if it's enjoyable to you and you have fun putting hours in on it, why hesitate to play it? Why hesitate to even pick up your controller for that? Enjoy the game, because there's still a lot in a game that could still be fun. Like, I found myself doing these quests on Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Now I'm starting to understand, like, before I even go forward to go to the areas I have to go to and stuff now, I'm starting to pace myself and read the description down underneath before I start the quest, so I know that when I start it, that's what I have to do, that's the objective, that's the spot that I have to look for. So, and the way that the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered is set up, they do a lot by markers on the map. So, they do it by specific certain markers on the map. But yeah, that's basically what I really think. You know, I just think that the whole process of rushing a game is ridiculous. Especially if that you want to make a game that people are going to invest in. At least make sure it's a game you don't have to go back and patch, or a game that you don't have to go back and clean up as much. That's how you could end up having cost savings for your studio and your company itself. As long as you make sure to fix the patches that are there, you're good to go. But you don't want to end up making a game that will turn out really bad and then have to spend a good portion of your profit trying to fix a game numerous times. Because let's face it, every time you try to go fix a game that you got that people are constantly playing, if you go and do too many patches over time, what happens is the game gets wear and tear. That game ends up feeling the wear and tear from the constant patch updates, and then before you know it, it becomes a game that's unplayable. Or just a game that players will turn completely around the other way and not even bother with. Me, on the other hand, since I've opened myself up to a lot of different games, best choice I could ever made. Best decision I could have ever made was to try out different games. So I have had such a blast doing all this and coming on here and doing a podcast. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I was up there having too much fun when it came to Cyberpunk 2077. I was on Twitch last night, so I was having a lot of fun on there. And I know I had to focus on YouTube, so that's why I tried to also find some things that you guys would like. And there's a couple of shorts on the channel you could check out of different games I ended up coming across. Different ones that they're preparing to make or preparing to get ready to design. So and believe me, there's a lot of good ones coming. Even what's out there now can still be fun. And you can find yourself playing it for hours. But basically, yeah, the goal I have to obtain is in the future 500 subscribers. But that's because they changed the whole thing. I'm doing good over on Twitch as well. So, but I'll keep continuing to work hard. And I know that I can do this along with the help of my viewers. You know, I enjoy just coming down here being able to chat about games. What does people think about, what do you guys think about these games that are up and coming? Wolverine, Gears E-Day, Halloween, Wolverine coming. You got GTA 6 coming. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions on all this? I mean, to be honest, I don't try to pay attention to the negative media. Because why fill your head with a bunch of nonsense from negative media when it doesn't always do good? What really does good is when you focus on the stuff that's good, and that's playing the games that you have and enjoying the ones that you play. Who cares what is said about this or that, or a person complaining over this or that. Because if there's one thing that I've always noticed, and this has always been something in the gaming industry that I've noticed, that it doesn't matter what game it is, people end up enjoying it anyway. You end up getting it, you end up playing it, and you end up finding out that it's fun and it's not like what you've seen. You know, and that's what you gotta realize is what you might see in the trailers, what you might see in footage like that, sometimes, if not most of the time, the finished product might not be the same as what you see. Because in the gaming industry, they do what they call changing strategies. And what I mean by changing strategies is changing how they market the game, changing how they put it across to people. That's what they focus on a lot. Is can we do a twist that is really going to finally get people to really notice about our game and really get interested in our product? Because that's what it is. They will change their marketing strategy to see how many people they can honestly get that will be drawn to the games that they do. And that's the same over on PlayStation. Yeah, they're trying to come up with games that they know will grip the fans. Yeah, and the way that it's always been is there's always been back and forth with people. You've always had the online stuff where people go online and say what they want to say. That's all well and good, but I don't think we should negatively attack each other over what you see or what you hear. Because truthfully, why attack another gamer for something that's out of that gamer's control just like it's out of yours? I know personally, I could sit here and I could say, okay, I like this game, or I like it for this reason or that reason, or I'm enjoying it because of this or this. You could say what you feel, but the whole hating on each other, that is not something that belongs. I mean, I've been on Grand Theft Auto 5, I've been in the parties, and I have been in the most toxic parties, where everyone in the party at times will start trashing one another and making rude, vulgar comments when they don't even need to. I remember that when me and my friends played back when we were younger, that we had a lot of fun. And it wasn't negative, it was all positive. And that's what the news media does, is they spin the negative, not the positive, the negative. They're going to have stuff and bring it across to you in a manner that is like, you know, depressing and stuff like that. Things you don't really want to hear about. Now I know sometimes you got to have that bad news, but you shouldn't have to put up with bad news 24/7 or chaos and craziness 24/7. And another thing I want to address, I know a lot of people have ended up making comments or, you know, picking on the fact that I'm not earning anything from this. I want to say one thing here. I'm not disingenuous. In the future, when I reach that goal, we're going to do this as a community. When I go to reach that goal, anything that I ever get in the future, it's going back toward the channel. I'm not even going to care about, you know, my pocket, because my bills every month, I have those set up to be able to cover it all. So, you know, I'm not that type that, you know, pockets it. Because I want to put it toward this channel to make things better, get better things in the future for us, and do a lot better that's going to bring more of a positive outlook on things and make the channel better as I'm doing things for it. That might take time, but like they say with everything, sometimes time is best. And in this situation, since I've only been at streaming on Twitch for 7 years and maybe streaming on YouTube for maybe the same amount, but I would have to say this is my biggest year. And the reason why I say this is my biggest year is this is the year where I have actually invested more. And I'm putting more time into building a community, building stuff on this channel. I'm doing more for myself with this. Just like I did when I worked a real job in the construction industry and other industries, that I'm working just as hard on this as I did when I was employed and working. So this is something that I'm passionate about, and I will put my best foot forward in all this. Sometimes I might run out of things to talk about because sometimes the news isn't always that jam-packed with stuff. Sometimes certain things are announced or certain things are said, and then after that you hear nothing. So I just wanted to come on here, do a makeup podcast, given that last night I was playing Cyberpunk. I was more into doing that. So that's why I wanted to do a makeup podcast and talk about a couple of things and share a couple of things with everyone. But yeah, the goal for this channel is the same as I've been saying. I'm going to work hard with the videos, work hard with the content, and try to do what I can, you know, to keep it up with all of it. So, but other than that, not much else is really going on for me, and I haven't seen much else going on in the news except for those few things. Except for the whole mess with Rockstar, Strawselnik. Now, I don't know exactly what he's doing or whatever, but apparently he ended up saying some things that kind of maybe ticked a few people off or more out there, because, you know, of certain things they're saying. But I still stand by my opinion that no matter what is said or done, it's not going to change how that game's going to turn out. You know, or what things they could do in between. So, but I will keep you up to date on what goes on. I will keep an eye out for more games as they come, or just more gaming news as it comes down the line. You'll know as soon as I know if there's anything crucial or anything that I, you know, really have to say that is important. But thank you for letting me do this podcast today. I'm basically going to be hitting the road because I have other things to do. I'm going to be working on some other content later on today. So if you want to come over and catch me on Twitch, you can catch me over there. I will be doing Cyberpunk, no doubt. I don't know about Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. I'm not sure if I'll get around to that today because of the way that the time was. Since, my son's eye appointment and everything else in between. But I will try to get another Elder Scrolls video out. But I will be doing for certain Cyberpunk. So that is a definite. But I just wanted to come on here, touch base with all my viewers, let them know everything's all good, and there's a lot more to come. And we're just going to continue to keep building this channel up. One content piece at a time. I'm going to let you guys go. You take care.